Am I recording? Okay, it is. Good. All right. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here tonight or listening to the recording. I'm really grateful for people taking the time. I know it's been like a little bit of a intense week/day here, if it's been there for you. I'm really excited tonight to have Jordan come and talk with us. And before she does, I just wanted to share something with you guys. Brad Bizjack is a coach that I've been working with, and he shared something today that I thought was really good, and I think it applies a lot to what we do in our business. And he talked about how there's a lot of fear right now people are facing and uncertainty, and I mean, I know I've been feeling it too. And he said, like, this is a time that we get to be like the hope givers, which we always hear like Summer Tucker has talked about in our upline, but like we get to like lead with offering hope and offering positivity and offering encouragement. And so I want to encourage everyone like to really level up the giving of value, like on our social media, like praying and for people, but like posting things that are uplifting and encouraging or funny. You know what I mean? I just think that this gets to be a season where we can set ourselves apart, you know, and yes, we have great solutions. Like if people need to work out and they can't go to the gym, yes, they can work out from home, and that's awesome. But even more than that, like just speaking to what they're struggling with, like really thinking, what are people's pain points right now and how can I help them carry that burden? And I think we just have a great opportunity as coaches to just be that inspiration, because he was talking about how things like this, when fear is like all over the place, there's this like desire to just hunker down. But when this is going on, that's when leaders and entrepreneurs and people who are growing really step up and they step in. And so I'm really looking forward to our free group next week, which is the Shake, Sweat, and Sleep group, which I'm cracking up because little did I know that this week I have skipped breakfast, missed my workouts, and not been sleeping. So I need this 7-day challenge just as much as everybody else. And I'm going to have it open in the morning so you guys can add your people and you can continue to invite through the weekend. I'm just trying to offer it, especially to people who have all their kids that are going to be home and they're going to struggle to make time for themselves. So, but I just wanted to just encourage you, like, even tonight, like I'm noticing on our call, like I'm thankful for those that are here. I know a lot of people aren't here, and I know that there's a lot in the air. It's just a heavy feeling, and I just want to pray against that, because like that's not what God's about. And I listened to I was like PDing myself to death today. I listened to another sermon a friend sent me by Pastor Stephen Furtick, and I'll share it in the team page. I haven't listened to something by him in a long time, but he talked about how leadership and growth require tension. And I think we're in a season of tension, especially first quarter in the business. And don't lean away from it, lean into it, because that's when you really get formed and grow. And he talked about how you should not look at your new situation through the lens of what's happened in the past. And so something I really am excited about with our team, and a reason I asked Jordan to come speak. So I got to hear Jordan speak at a retreat Summer Tucker led, gosh, was that 2 years ago? Maybe 2 years ago. All I know is when I got my tattoo. I feel like I should have a birth date or something for that. But it was a great experience to meet her and hear her share. And it's funny how we're all kind of cross-line coaches and we know one another kind of in this big family tree. But when you see people pop up and you watch them share their journey and you watch them share the ups and downs and what they are doing and accomplishing, you can tell when there's coaches that are like experiencing that inner transformation just as much as the outside. And to me, that's what I want for everyone. And I've watched that with Jordan, and I've seen that with her, with the, like, just the way she shares. And then this year she got to go to the New Leader Conference, which is a great experience. I got to go a couple years ago, and it's something I want everyone to shoot for that wants to build the business. But I know it's different for everyone. And I know y'all hear me talk all the time. And so I wanted to invite her to come tonight to share her story, because like, I mean, I hate saying like I'm an old mama, but I'm a mom with like more kids, and I have a 15-year-old. She's kind of more in like the boat with a lot of the coaches on our team, Jordan, like are in the similar season. I feel like I have seasons. I have kids in all the seasons, like, which is nice. But the way she has built her business and shared her story, if you guys don't follow her, please do, because it's just authentic. It's real. It's not fluffy, in your face, fake at all. But it offers hope and encouragement. And to me, she's building her business and she's doing the things for her family she needs to do. And she's had growth, and she shared some of that even at retreat. And it's just been really awesome to watch. And so I love bringing people like Jordan here for you to see, that I got to meet, so that you get to hear their story, because your story matters. And I want other people's stories to inspire you to pick up your pen and write your own, you know, and not to be just like hers and not to be just like mine, but to like say, oh, this is different. So what's mine going to look like? And to be excited about it. So I'm going to read a little bit about her, and then I'm going to hand it over to Jordan. We're going to kind of do an interview style, if that's cool, like the questions I had sent you, if that works. And I'm excited, y'all. This has been a day, and I'm glad we're ending it on a good note. So she is a wife to her high school sweetheart, Josh, mom of 3, full-time nurse, coach for 3 years. She's founder of the Team Fearless Empire, a 2-star diamond coach, and an SC5 all-star, which what that means, guys, is that for over 12 months, she has not missed Success Club, which is awesome. It's an amazing benchmark. Hoping to get mine back. And so I'm excited to have her here tonight. So Jordan, can you tell us a little bit about how you got started with Beachbody? Oh, did you freeze?
Just kidding.
No worries.
I don't know where you left off, so I'm just going to jump in.
Oh, that's okay. So I introduced you, and then I was going to say, can you just tell us a little bit how you got started?
And I was like, bleep, no, bye. So if that happens again, I'm so sorry, but it is like pouring down rain here, and I live way out in the boonies, so my internet gets spotty when it rains. Yeah, you can feel me, Sarah. Okay. So I am so excited to be here tonight with you guys. I love speaking to other teams because I know for me personally, when we have guest speakers on our team, it just pumps me up, like hearing from people who we don't normally hear from. Well, me speaking to you guys does the same thing for me. Like it excites me, and it, you know, just gets me going for the next work week for us, starting on Thursday. So I'm super excited to be here. So thank you very much, Kelly, for having me. I appreciate it. So like Kelly said a minute ago, like when you guys are telling your story, there are going to be so many people who can relate, and there's going to be so many people who are going to pick pieces from your story and they're going to say, oh, that's me, you know? So when I first started coaching, I had been following my coach for about a year, and I told her, no, which you all probably have similar stories, you know. I highly doubt any of us jumped on the wagon the very first invite. But after about a year of her asking, I finally said yes. I was a newly postpartum C-section mom to my second baby. I had postpartum depression, anxiety, but you never would have guessed looking at my social media. I only posted happy pictures of my kids and, oh, we got to do this weekend and, you know, blah, blah, blah. But on the inside, I was dying, you guys. Like I was struggling so hard. I cried every single day. I didn't get much sleep with my second baby. And most nights I would be up crying with him, you know, because I was just struggling so hard. And the only people that knew it were my husband and my mom. Nobody else knew what was going on. And then finally, after the year of talking to my coach, I said yes, because I knew it was going to be harder to stay where I was than it was to make the changes I needed to become a better person for myself and my family. So I finally said yes. I signed up initially just for the discount, but I actually, 2 days after I signed up as a coach, Logan told me, you know, you can get your product paid for if you just sign up a few people a month. And I was like, oh, well, I mean, I could try. So I signed up my mom and my husband immediately and went Emerald in like my first 3 days or something like that. And then I am a very competitive person, like even with myself. So once I signed up my mom and my husband, I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure I can do this and I'm going to rock it. So I signed up. I I can't even remember. Like I signed up like 10 people my first month of coaching, hit SC20 or something like that. And I went diamond in like a smidge over a month because I just hit the ground running because I was so passionate about what our mission was as coaches. I wanted to help other people feel the way I did in just a short 2 weeks after I signed up. So I started drinking the shakes. I started doing the workouts. You know, I was a product of the product, and it was showing. It was showing in the community. Like when people would talk to me, I had so many people the first couple of months when I started coaching would come up to me and say, you are a completely different person. And I don't mean the weight loss. I mean like mentally, emotionally. People would tell me they could see the confidence change that I had. You know, my husband, I'll never forget, he stopped me in the kitchen, and I cry every time I tell the story, so I'm going to try and hold it back. But he stopped me in the kitchen one day, and he just put his hands on my shoulders, and he said, I am so proud of you. You are standing taller, and you are so, so much happier. And he was like, I am so glad that you signed up to do this, you know? So if that's not like a reason to continue doing this right there, then I don't know what is. So I have been doing this for, like she said, almost 3 years. April 1st will be 3 years. And I have made it my life's mission to help other postpartum depression filled mamas change that, because postpartum depression is so hard, especially when you feel like you're alone and you're the only one feeling what you're feeling. That was one thing when I started coaching. I told my coach, I said, I don't have a story. Like, I'm boring. There's nothing about me that people are going to want to hear. They're not going to want to follow me because like I don't have anything fancy for them to be attracted to. But that's so not the truth, you guys. Even though there are a lot of people who have similar stories, that's what brings people to you, you know, because they know they're not alone then in their sadness or in their depression or in the things that they're struggling with, you know? So that's why we have to share so fearlessly. And that's why my team is called Fearless Empire. We have to share so fearlessly, because if we can just help one person feel that they're not alone, then that is worth it. That is why we do what we do.
I love that. I love that. That's so good. And I think like you were saying, like you, if you're on here and you're like, oh, but I want to help postpartum moms, guess what? There's a lot of postpartum moms. Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't like be inspired by what Jordan's saying, you know, because someone's going to connect. And I love that you said that like piece of your story. Because even I remember when you shared that at retreat, like I had horrible postpartum depression after all of my kids, but number 6 was when I recognized it. And it was because of the community that I could climb out and like recognize it and get help. So that's so powerful. So can you share like I talked about like your 3 greatest kind of lessons in coaching and building your business?
So the first lesson is that this is hard, and you have to recognize that it is hard and not let it fill you with fear, and you have to overcome that fear. Okay. Because building a business is not easy, you guys. If you turned around and said tomorrow that you wanted to open a clothing boutique, that's not going to be easy. It's not going to be any easier than what we do as a coach. You're still going to have to show up every single day. You're still going to have to put in the time, and you're still going to have to do the things that you need to do to get the job done. Doesn't matter if you're a health and fitness coach, if you're a manager at McDonald's, or if you own your own clothing boutique. You're going to have to do the things to get the job done. Okay. So this is hard, and overcoming it is definitely one of the first lessons that I learned. One of the other lessons was consistency is key. And you've probably heard this a million times, and you're probably thinking, ugh, that word consistency, like we hear it all the time, but it is legit. And it is so, so important. I tell my coaches all the time that I would much rather have them send 5 invites a day than to sit down one day and send 50. Like, I would much rather you be consistent every single day with your vital behaviors in this business than to do it once or twice a week, like in bulk. So being consistent is another huge lesson. And the third one is that everyone needs personal development. I was 150% the person that said, I don't need personal development. Personal development is a joke. Blah, like, that's not me. I'm not doing it, you know? But there is such a huge mindset shift that I have personally when I'm doing personal development versus when I'm not. And the thing about doing personal development is there's a reason it's called personal development versus reading. So we have to pick up a book and not just read it, but we have to read that book and personally develop our minds with what we're reading. Okay. If you're not putting into action what you're reading, then why are you doing it? There's no point to reading a book if you're not going to put it into action. Right. Mm-hmm. So that was another lesson that I kind of had to learn the hard way. And my coach kind of had to pound into me after a while, is that personal development is so, so, so important for everyone.
Oh yeah. I was like the one who did the same thing. And I remember the first PD book I read was The Compound Effect. And I think I read it maybe like 4 or 5 months in. And even while reading it, I was like making fun of Darren Hardy while reading it because I needed to be personally developed, y'all. And then I read it again like a year ago, and I was like, why did I make fun of him? This is really good. I was like,
yeah, but I understand completely.
Yeah. And then Sarah was saying the same thing. I think a lot of us could raise our hand on that one. So can you tell us a little bit about where you're going with your business and kind of what drives you and inspires you towards your goals?
So this is something that I love talking to my girls about, because when I first started this business, like my coach would talk about your why all the time. And I didn't fully comprehend it, like exactly what that meant. So at first I was like, oh, well, like I'm doing this to be healthy. Like that's my why, you know? And the longer I'm in this business, the deeper it gets. And I'm realizing that there are so many levels to your why than you even know, like, especially as a new baby coach. So my kids obviously are a huge driving force behind what I do. I got to stay home with them like the first year almost of Jackson's life, and it was amazing. But then my husband was like, you know, you probably need to go back to work now. Like, I think a year of maternity leave is probably enough. And so I did go back to work, but that just made it 10,000 times bigger for me because I did get to stay home with them for a while. So my kids are a huge driving force for me because I want to stay home with them forever and ever, and never have to go back to my nursing job. And I want to take them to Disney because my husband refuses to take them to Disney. And I told him if I save the money to do it, then I'm taking my kids to Disney next year. So, I mean, those are like, my kids are the biggest thing for me, like driving my business. And then, like I said, to help other women do the same. Like, I'm just so passionate about that. It just burns in my belly. And that's the kind of passion you have to have about why you're running your business. Because if the reason you're doing this doesn't leave you feeling like you have indigestion, then you need to figure something else out. If it doesn't get you up at 3:30 in the morning, then you need to figure out something else, you know? People like tell me all the time that I'm crazy because I get up at 3:30 in the morning and I stay up till like 10:30, 11. They're like, how do you do that? I said, because I have a reason behind why I'm doing it. I'm not just getting up to get up. There's a reason I do the things I do, you know? So you just have to have, a strong enough why to build a business just like anything else.
What would you say if like when you're like a newer coach and you just are kind of starting out, like when you, Because I know for me too, like I remember everyone would always say like your why makes you cry. And I remember at first I'm like, when well, I don't know. I don't know what that means. Like I was trying to figure out what why would make me cry. Like what would you say to someone who's just starting out who feels like, well, I don't have that yet? Like what helped you kind of peel the layers back?
Um, it is very tough whenever you're a new coach to figure it out. Like your why, you think it should be so easy to realize what it is, but it's not, you know. Personal development, again, you know, like you start reading personal development and I think it's going to be a lot easier for you to figure it out quicker, just because once you start opening your mind, you start looking at things differently and you start feeling a little bit different, especially if you're new to fitness and you're starting to eat right. Everything just starts falling into place and you're going to start figuring things out so quickly. And if you have kids, you know, there's going to be a different light that you have towards those babies. And if you don't have kids and you have a spouse, it'll probably be towards him or her. But as a new coach, I really think you just need to lean into your team and lean into your health and fitness, lean into your, you know, your challenge group. And it might take you a little while, but you'll figure it out. And when you do, it'll be like a light bulb flipped in your mind and you'll be like, this is why I'm doing what I do. And once that happens, the tears will come.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I think, and I love how you shared that, like, it's like being a product of the product in your journey and surrounded and working on things, it will come. You don't have to force it. Like it'll come. So talk to us a little bit about like New Leader Conference. Like how can you explain to them how you get there? Cause I haven't yet, and like what it was like.
Absolutely. So, I started coaching in 2017 and they actually in 2017 changed the requirements a little bit. It used to be that you had to be a 2-star diamond, but they changed it that year to 1-star diamond. So you can only earn New Leader Conference one time. So like say if you hit 1-star diamond this year, by the end of the year, then you would qualify for New Leader to go next February. So it's whatever year you qualify for 1-star diamond, you get to go the next year. And then last year it was different, or 2 years ago it was different than last year. But if you earn a certain amount of elite points by the end of the year, then you get your hotel paid for, and different things like that too. So it's really, really cool. I actually earned New Leader in 2018, but I was unable to go because it was actually the same weekend that I was having my 3rd child. So I wasn't able to go. So I actually had to earn it again. Like they didn't just let me go the next year, which would be like last month, February. They didn't just let me go. I had to re-earn it last year. So thankfully, you know, we made that happen by the skin of our teeth, if I'm being honest. But it is an amazing experience, you guys. New Leader Conference is, in my book, like right up there with Summit. It was so incredible. It is a much smaller group of people and they just give you their 150% undivided attention the entire time you are there. You get amazing trainings. You get to do workouts with the super trainers. You get to try new products that haven't been released yet, which the Mixed Berry Energize that comes out in May, I got to try it, and y'all, it's amazing. So it is so good. But it's a really amazing time that you can get together with other up and coming leaders and learn new things, or, you know, hear maybe something you're doing, but if you just tweaked it a little bit, you know, it can make the world of a difference in your business. And it's just so, so incredible. There's not very many words that you can put with it to explain the magnitude. I mean, just like Summit, like I said, but you really, really, like, I don't know what y'all's goals are, but you need to put New Leader on your vision board for next year if you have not already, because you will not regret it. It was amazing.
I feel like for me, I was in a similar boat. I declined the first year because my daughter had a lead in a play, and I just don't want to miss those sort of things. So I waited, and then I requalified the next year. And it kind of makes you feel like if you don't think you're a leader and you go to new leader conference, you see you are. Like, it's one of those like belief building kind of things, because you get in the room with like very, very well-known coaches who train you, but then they just talk to you and you're like, oh, you think I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, there's this barrier comes down. Like, we got to try beach bars. I'm jealous that you got to try the Energize though. That's
Yeah, it was really good.
but yeah,
So, like Summit is, there's just so many people there, and where it is amazing, you know, it is just such a more intimate setting. You know, it's like a smaller room for your trainings versus this huge stadium that's packed full of like 25,000 people, you know. So they are talking more like at you specifically and training you personally versus just like talking to the masses, if that makes sense. So I mean, it really does make you feel like, wow, you know, I can do this and I can lead a team. Whereas maybe before you went, you didn't have such confidence in yourself, but you really do leave New Leader Conference feeling like, man, I can really do this.
yeah, that's so cool. Yeah, Megan. So the requirement now is to be a 1-star. And if you earn so many elite points, it's nice when your hotel room is covered. So I was able to do that too, which was nice.
Yeah, because the hotel that they put you in is bomb. Like, there was a rumor floating around that it's actually going to be in Vegas next year, but yeah, I don't know if that's true, but
yeah, it was was it yours at the Marriott, the JW Marriott was where we were at when I went in LA.
I don't actually remember the name of the hotel.
Super fancy though. It was very fun. Yeah.
Called like the Intercontinental or something like that.
Okay.
It was the tallest building on the West Coast, they said.
Oh wow, that's awesome. Yeah, that's so cool. That's so cool. So tell us how coaching, like you've shared a lot with your story, but how would you say like this whole opportunity has like changed and blessed your life?
So many ways, you guys, because I was the person who felt like she didn't have any friends like before I started this. And I always told people that I had more guy friends than girlfriends because girls were catty and, you know, like all the things. And now that is completely not the story. Like, coaching has blessed me with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of amazing female friends that I not only am able to grow this business with, but I also just get to talk to on a daily basis because we are actually friends. So that is a huge blessing that coaching has brought for my life. Besides like the financial aspect of it, you know, I started out, like I said, just wanting to like cover the cost of my product. Now I'm covering like monthly bills and trips that we want to take, and, you know, just all the things like that we wouldn't normally get to do. Like, for example, before I had Jackson, Josh and I wanted to do something fun for the kids, and Madeline said, well, can we go stay in a hotel? And normally it would be like, no, we can't afford that. But I was like, yeah, sure. Like, we didn't even think twice about it because I knew we had our coaching income. And I'm just today, we got paid again. And I don't know if any of you were planning on going to Punta Cana, but that got canceled for a couple weeks. And so obviously we're not going. And Josh and I have been talking because we both got the time off from his job and from my nursing job to go on that. So he was like, do you still want to try and go somewhere? So normally that would be like, no, not a possibility. But just with this week's paycheck, it'll be more than enough to cover both of us going on a trip, since we're not getting to go to Punta Cana. So, I mean, the financial part of this is just so incredible.
That's awesome. I know. What a gift. I know everybody's really bummed about the trip getting canceled.
Yeah, for sure. But
so Sarah asked a really good question over here in the chat. She said, I want to know what you do to light a fire and support the people who come in wanting to work. Because like, I think a lot of us have that story where we're like, we sign up for the discount, we get bit by the bug, and then we kind of like go for it. But there are people that come in that are like, I want to do this, you know, but so what would you say for?
So I was one of those people. Like, initially I didn't want to, but I hit the ground running and never looked back. I will tell you that those people are few and far between. Like on our team, we call those the unicorn coaches because they're just not heard of very often. The ones who legit tell you that they want to do this and they actually do it. So for those people, I really think just getting them so plugged into the group and simplifying though, because you overwhelm them and they're not going to handle it well most of the time. So I think if you just really get them plugged in, really get them surrounded, feeling the love, getting them hooked on a program that they love and a nutrition program that, they're killing it with, then it'll take off from there. Because like I said earlier, if you are doing the things, honestly doing the things when it comes to being a product of the product, then you're going to get results and your business will flourish from it. So I think, plugging them in and just simplifying, which like our back office now has incredible training videos that they have broke down so well for new coaches. So even like if you don't even have anything training wise in your team page, steering them to the back office is an incredible way to get them started. That's how I got started. Like I would stay up till 1:00 in the morning watching videos in the back office. And
yeah, no, they're really good. I uploaded some of them into our units just because they're and they're short, which is nice.
Yeah.
They got rid of the Michael Neiman superhero. That video was hilarious, but so confusing to me. I remember watching it thinking this is a word problem in math, and I did not do well in math. Yeah. I'm not doing well in this, but the new one, I'm oh, I can follow you.
Well, and I'm kind of squirrely when I watch stuff like that, so I just kept watching the little characters and I wasn't actually listening. So I'm wait a minute, I didn't get
right. You're trying to figure out did I have that person? Wait, has that a real toy? Where did you? Yeah, no, I hear you.
Yeah, exactly.
So I would love for you just to kind of close with asking if you had a piece of advice that you would share with coaches here to help them in their business, what would you say?
So initially, we talked about picking one word for me to give you guys moving forward. I had to narrow it down to two. Okay. I couldn't get to one, and I've already said both of them, and that is passion and consistency. You have to be consistent in this business or it's not going to work for you. I just read The Slight Edge last month, and he talks in that book about, if you haven't read The Slight Edge, you need to go read it right now. Okay. Because it's an incredible book, and it really does just open your eyes to, if I would just do the things every single day, then I'm going to have this compound effect that's going to build something incredible. And it is so stinking true, you guys. Last year after I had Jackson, I would do really good for a few days, and then I would fall off the wagon for a week. And then it's I know if you have heard Summer Tucker tell this story, you know what I'm talking about, but pumping the well, it's for real, guys. If you just keep pumping it every single day, then it's going to be super easy and you're never going to get tired. But whenever you stop and you have to start back up again, it is so hard and your shoulder is going to hurt so bad. Okay. So if you just consistently do the things every single day, and I'm not just talking about your business, but I'm talking about your workouts. I'm talking about drinking your shakes. I'm talking about eating healthy 80-20, if that's you. Okay. Do those consistently, and your business is going to follow that path. Okay. It's going to go up instead of this. All right. If you're being consistent every single day. And then passion was the second word, because I don't know about you, but my business does so much better when I am in it to win it with what program I'm doing and actually following my nutrition plan. I can see a huge difference in the results of my business of signing people up and my coaches doing good, the momentum in my team and stuff like that, if I am passionate about what I'm doing. So they're actually so for me, stopping a program before I finished was a big deal. Even if I hated the program, because that's another thing, you don't have to love all of the programs that we have. If you didn't know that, just letting you know. You don't have to love all of them. Okay. So there has been a couple instances where I've started a program and I've not liked it. And bar was one of those. Like, I started bar and I did it for 2 weeks, and y'all, I hated it. And it showed in my business. It showed on my social media. Like, my posts were not as peppy. My Insta stories were not as like fun, I feel, and my paychecks were reflecting it. So I had to sit down and tell myself that it was okay to switch to a different program after only doing 2 weeks of bar. And that for me personally is very hard because I'm not a quitter. But if it's not getting me the results that I want for me personally and for my business, then it's time to move, because you have to be passionate about what you're doing or it's not going to work.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, you're so right. I have 4 workouts left in that program.
I admire everyone who is doing it, but it's
been a challenge because it's a good workout. There's nothing wrong with it. And I know people that love it, but it's been a challenge for me. And I've noticed that too. My enthusiasm is not as great. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But I think for some people it's phenomenal. It's just like Lift 4. Yeah. I'm so excited about the boxing program. I did the test thing on Sneak Peek on Monday, and I wanted to do it like every day this week. I was so excited. I was like, I woke up sore the next day. I didn't care. Like, it was like Courtney was, I was telling him like, oh, it comes out. I'm not going to start on Monday yet, but I told him like, you can start it. Cause I was just like, but that's what you want. Like, what she's saying is correct. Yeah. Like, you don't want to just start. Now there's value if like you start something and you've been enjoying it and it's the last week and it's that week you're like, oh, you have to push through. That's different. But if you're doing something and it's not your jam, that's kind of how I felt with PiYo a few times when I did it. I got like a few weeks in and I just never, it was great for a few weeks, but yes, that is so good. And I love that. I love that she gave us words, because when I read the question I sent, I'm like, oh, is she going to get a word, or she need more, like, because I'm more than a word. I'm like lots of words. So this is so good. But yeah, you guys, The Slight Edge is a great book. It is a great read. Mm-hmm. I have it. I should probably pull it back out to read it. Does anyone have any questions that they would like to ask Jordan while she's here? You can unmute and ask. You don't have to type them, or you can type.
I do, and it kind of is. It's kind of more of what I asked before, because it wasn't really the unicorn. It was even just the people who were like, yeah, I could work a little bit or invite some people or whatever, but they say they want to. And I guess what I want to know is, what are you doing? How are you presenting new coach training? How are you presenting givens in the business? As in, like, this isn't maybe someday you might kind of want to sorta, it's you're a coach now and this is what a coach does. Not in a pressure sense, but the feeling that I get from you guys and from you and from Logan and even in Courtney Bell, and like, it's just kind of we're coaches and this is what coaches do. Here we go. Not a, hey, do you think maybe you might kind of like to sort of maybe someday want to work a power hour, maybe. Like, so how do you create that atmosphere? How do you present that to your new coaches? Obviously you're doing it, and that's the biggest obstacle, because no one's going to do what you're not doing. But how do you present it? What do you do for new coach training, that kind of stuff?
So I had a lot of takeaways on this topic from New Leader, because this was a very big subject that they presented to us. And I've actually changed things a little bit after going to New Leader. So I have told my girls to print off one of the business activity trackers, make 52 copies of it, and then go bind it. And I have a message thread going right now that they have to show me their tracker, if not every day, at least every other day. And they have to obviously have as many check marks checked off as possible. Because like I said earlier, like, I at least want them doing a handful of things every single day versus going 4 days with nothing and then doing a crap load on the 5th day. So we have a message thread, and how you get into the message thread is as soon as you get your first Success Club point in the month, then you get added to that thread. So once in there, then like I said, we talk about the tracker, and you have to post your tracker in there. You have to engage in the group, be posting on social media, doing the vital behaviors, you know, and if you're not, then you get removed from the group. And you know, I explained to them, I said, it's no hard feelings. It's nothing against you personally, but this is a business. And if you're not willing to work that business, I'm going to put my time into the people that are going to work their business, you know, because that's what I'm here to do as a mentor. So that's essentially what we're doing now.
We all need the VIP challengers who have a discount, who are discount coaches and keep, you know, a leg active. Like, I value that. But those people don't need or really want to be in a message thread. Like they don't want that. They just want to be in your challenge group and be supported and encouraged that way. So it's not like you're being mean. The people who aren't doing the work don't really want to be in that thread anyway.
Exactly. So that's why we made it, and Logan's doing this too. Like, we're all implementing it. Once you get your first Success Club point, then you get into the thread. So if they want to be in the thread, then they'll help people.
That's really good. That's really good. And I think it is important. Like, I think I like how you said too, like checking most of it too, because like there might be one day that you do mostly one thing and not the other. And I think we need to make sure we don't cause our coaches to second guess that they know what they're doing and when they're finding their rhythm. But I also agree, going out and trying to cut a whole tree down in one day.
Yeah. I don't even check off every single one of my boxes every day. Like, I do most of them.
Right.
But I don't check off every single one of them. So I can't expect my coaches to do that if I'm not doing it. You know?
Yeah. I think perfectionism freezes people. Like, they think it's like the all or nothing is not the same thing as all in.
Yeah.
You know,
set numbers for them?
Not typically. Like, I tell them a minimum of 5 invites a day. That's really
the gate. First people right out the gate. First week of coaching.
I'm sorry, what?
Like their first week of coaching right out the gate, 5, 5, 5.
Yep. That's our team minimum. And as a new coach, that actually should be easier than, you know, if you're one of those people who feels like you have exhausted your warm market or whatever, you know what I mean? So it actually should be easier for a new coach.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
So how long a day, how many hours a day do you say you work? Because do you still work as a nurse?
I do 12-hour shifts as a nurse. So
okay, that's what I thought. Because I run into the fact that I sometimes get to the end of the day and I'm like, I still have a lot of work to do, and it's late, and I'm out of time.
Yeah. So that is when I get up super, super early in the morning and like read my personal development. I'm doing the 21-day reset right now, so I'm not working out, but I would typically like read my personal development. Like once I finish with that, if I had a little bit extra time, because that's the thing, like you have to have a schedule, you guys. Like you have to plan your day out, because if you don't plan your day is going to plan you. Okay. So you need to figure out.
I mean, with your kind of coaching mastermind group that you have to have Success Club points for, as well as your own business, as well as any other people that you have to coach, how many hours a day would you say you're working?
Well, it's different on the days that I have to work. So like the days that I have to work, I do power pockets. You know, I'm very fortunate that my boss doesn't get on to me like for having my phone out at work. Because if I have 5 minutes, then I'm going to work my business. If I have 10 minutes, I'm going to work my business. You know what I mean? If I'm caught up on my work and I'm supposed to leave in an hour and I'm just waiting for my relief to get there, well, then I'm working my business, you know? And honestly, those are like amazing times to do it, because my kids aren't bothering me. My husband doesn't need me to do anything, you know? So, but then on the days that I don't work, I would say, like, obviously I do a lot more. I would say I average collectively 3 to 4 hours team call nights. If you add in a team call, it's going to be more, you know, and I mean, you want your business to grow faster. You got to work more, You know what I mean?
Well, and I
So
think it
if you're-
depends on what your level is too. Like I've found
Yeah.
now managing a team as well as like training and things like that. I need 3 hours a day at least to work my business.
For sure.
And
Yeah,
more if
for
I'm doing like content development and stuff like that.
yeah.
That's where I've come to now.
Yeah. And that's what, when I talk to new coaches, I'm like, listen, you're not going to be working your business as much as I work my business. I don't work my business as much as Logan and Haley work their business, you know? So you're totally right, Sarah. Like there is different levels to this business, and I'm not going to expect a brand new coach to work their business for 4 hours a day. Holy crap. They're not going to stay, you know? So I try to just tell them, look at this tracker, try to do as much as you can from this tracker, at least send 5 invites a day, do your workout, read personal development, drink your shake.
Yeah. 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 And I agree. Like, I think, like getting like a power half hour, and then if you can do more, like, or as a brand new, whatever is what I found too, that's helpful is, this is something I'm actually going back to because, my productivity has been squirrely lately, is setting a timer. Like I am doing conversations for the next 20 minutes and that is it. And then I am doing invites. And it's crazy because when I set the timer for 20 minutes and sit down to invite, I can do a heck of a lot more invites than when I don't have the timer and I'm trying to do multiple things, you know?
Yeah.
And right now I'm kind of in the pocket realm too of just working the mom cracks. And so you can do a lot more than you realize when you stop overthinking it, but it's the consistency she talks about that makes it easier. Like the first, I don't know if y'all ever did, well, this is like if you ever do a program for the first time and they try to teach you a move and you're like, this is crazy. You feel uncoordinated and uncomfortable the first time you do any kind of, like if you were doing lift 4 and you're lifting for the first time and doing skull crushers, you're more concerned with not breaking your face than you are with how much weight that you're lifting. But by like week 6, you know what it is, you know what weight you need, you sit down, you get it done. You could even probably skip over his dialogue between lifting if you wanted to get the workout done faster. You know what I mean? But it's because you showed up consistently, you have the muscle memory, and you get the same thing in your business. The key is, like you were saying, the consistency every day. So, but that is helpful. Yeah, thank you. Does anybody else have any questions? He does talk a lot. Sarah, I love Joel, but I'm like, dude, I could be done like now.
Going back to the power hour real quick though, Micah Folsom has a really, really good YouTube video on power hours. So
that's good to know.
It's really good.
I like her. Her call the other week was really good.
Oh, she's so good. Yeah, and if you missed her national wake up call, oh my gosh, rewatch it about 5 times.
It was really good. It was really, really good. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I'm so glad you were here tonight. Thank you for leaning in with us. It's neat to hear how things are going, and y'all, like seriously, like follow how she shares, because what I think sometimes I hear a lot of coaches will say to me, like, I don't know the right balance of like life and my journey, and they don't want to share too much of this or too much of that. But like you'll see something I've noticed in Jordan's sharing is she's very consistent in sharing her journey, but in a way that's like it's not awkward. Like I think we feel like we're awkward when we post our stuff every week, but if anything, it's just authentic, if that makes sense for like, and so I think if you're looking for ideas of how she shares, it's not just, here's my progress. It's like the story behind the progress. Like even right now with Ultimate Reset, which I have to pick your brain about that because but yeah, Sarah's biting her knuckles.
It's amazing. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm excited. So, well, we usually close our.
It can't be worse than flax granola, so I think I will. Like, there's no way that anything. I mean, I will shoot Power Greens all day long if I can stop eating flax granola. So
yeah, it's not that
bad. I've been eating this flax granola for my inflammation for the last month and a half, and I want to chuck it out the window.
I actually like it now, but it looks kind of like guinea pig food. It does. It's like
first clue. That should be your first clue.
I know, right. Well, we usually close our calls in prayer. So let's pray for Jordan and just pray for all the stuff going on in our country and in the world right now. And thank you so much again, girl. I appreciate you taking the time to be here. It was just such a gift. And we got to take a picture. Is that why you're smiling at me, Sarah? Like big. I remember speaker view. Okay, first we smile, then we pray. Then okay, 1, 2, 3. All right. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for just getting us to the Lord, for Jordan coming to hear her story. I pray that everyone who's here tonight and those that are listening, that a piece of her story will speak to their heart, to show them whatever plan you have for them in their business is possible, Lord. There's so much fear right now in our country, God, and I pray that you would help us to be a beacon of light and hope and joy, that you would give this business opportunity as a way to minister to others. Lord, that you would give us the courage to set big goals that you can do through us, that you would give us the confidence to step into our business daily, that you would quiet the nervousness and the over questioning and the over analyzing that can go on in our hearts and minds, Lord, that hold us back from asking someone, have you ever considered? Lord, I pray that you would bless Jordan and her business and her goals and her health. I pray that you would bless our team, that you would just let us to be just hope givers, that you would let us give hope to others and inspire others to step into their story, and that you would show every single person here tonight and every person that listens that their story matters, that you would really, Lord, just reveal that to them in a very, very powerful way, that you have written their story, that you have given us each a calling and a life to live for out of love for us, and that we are here to build one another up. And I pray for the growth of our team. I pray for all of those that are seeking to bring others onto their team this month and to serve others in our challenge groups. We pray for our challengers, our teams, past, present, and future. And we give you thanks for this amazing opportunity that we have, God. And just thank you so much for caring for us and leading us to this opportunity, which has really blessed our lives. I pray all these things in your most holy name. Amen. All right, you guys, have an amazing night. Thank you. Thank you so much, Jordan. Take care, everybody.
Thank you.